Stephen Curry.
Steph Curry is always moving
Decent
forward.
player.
I think he can shoot.
Did you see the end of the All-Star game?
When he
The
dunked?
broadcast cut away from the NBA All-Star game with about 8 seconds left. Curry just decided to shoot it from half court.
Did it go in?
Splash. Just like
Easily, if he
unlimited range. It's not even fair.
yeah, it's.
Do you know what it could possibly be a part of? Maybe it's his shoes.
And you're right. And speaking of those shoes, it has to go down as probably the biggest bargain of the century. Maybe Steph Curry signed with Under Armour at a point in which Nike
Twice. They passed twice.
twice.
Right.
Once when he was younger, I believe, right? Or he had a shoe contract with them when he was just coming out of
younger.
college.
Yeah. So let's take a look because there's a quote. So we have a few graphs, quotes, and fun stuff for you regarding Under Armour and how they are sweeping through the MVPs of most leagues. So 2 years ago, Nike had a chance to pay Curry a lot of money and lock him up for the future. After offering less than $2.5 million a year, Nike had a second chance, this time to match Under Armour's new offer. Unsure that Curry would ever be able to sell signature shoes, Nike let him go. At the time, it wasn't a bad business decision by Nike, and the reason for that being is Steph Curry had glass ankles, constantly injured even though he was shooting ridiculous from three at that point in his career. And then, of course, everyone knows the story. Hindsight's 20/20. Yeah, if you look back now, you go, oh, Nike, how do you pass up on a guy that's going to set another three-point record and win his second straight MVP and maybe win back-to-back titles? This is before that was even a realistic possibility for the Warriors. Mark Jackson was the coach. He was building this team, right? So Under Armour, though, credit to you guys because they are getting it in. They're incepting the young athletes. Not only do they have Steph Curry, I think I pulled a chart here. Cam Newton won the NFL MVP. Jordan Spieth won 2 of the 4 major tournaments. Clayton Kershaw is MVP of baseball 2 years ago. They also have Bryce Harper, which I left off this, who won MVP last year. George St. Pierre is a huge name MMA fighter. And even the soccer. I just wanted to throw in I mean, they have Andy Murray, too.
Took Suarez.
Oh, no, Suarez is an Under Armour. It just looks like Under Armour, according to you.
bad.
His boots look like Under Armour.
Bad. That was ridiculous. But I was going through it. You were given such a good biopic of all the players that come down to Memphis.
Hey,
in Memphis.
The Netherlands. The orange looks good.
Named after a great state. State, right? State.
All right,
State.
all right.
Is it a state?
Memphis?
Yeah.
It's a city.
Is it a state? Fuck. All right. I'm not going to cut that out. I don't care. I'm not a big geometry man. Get it? Past joke, past reference. Either way,
All right,
they've got a good roster.
But do you know who pulled I'm going to call it a funny, right? And please don't. Like, the media, man, sometimes they drive me crazy. The mainstream media. He's joking. Watch LeBron James joke about not knowing what Under Armour is. Who? Take a look.
Under Armour recently released a commercial.
Who?
Under Armour.
Who was that?
There's a commercial saying.
I don't know what you're talking about. Who? The other guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who Under Armour is. What are you talking about?
Paul and Kevin.
Who?
Paul and Kevin.
Oh. So you got me all killed. I only know Nike. That's it. Lifetime.
Then you have LeBron James, who's he's joking. He's joking.
Nah, I think
you know
it's
what he does? He's never heard of Under Armour. Of course he's heard of Under Armour, but it is his competition, and Nike signed him to a lifetime deal. So Francis, they have signed all these MVPs. They have some of the brightest young athletes in the game signed under contract, right? There is one issue to Under Armour's strategy, and it's why Nike, I still think, will reign supreme. They fall very, very short in women's athletics. And they have a very weak brand in women's athletics. So while the numbers will state that their stock, I know as executive producer Dan is going through the roof, Nike's still right up there with them, and they have an entirely different market. This was taken from the end of 2014. It's a little outdated, but it just shows because there's more information that's coming out recently in terms of their stock that it's skyrocketed. It's over 10 million in terms of projected revenue in their performance, right? So do you think Under Armour is the future of all athletics, or do you think Nike will still beat them out?
No, and there's a reason why. I don't think they're trying to be.
Oh.
I think, like, how are you going to compete?
A different brand?
Yeah, how are you going to compete with Nike, right? At the same time as Adidas are trying to figure out how they can adjust their strategy. Adidas have 2 separate types that they don't cross over. It's like lifestyle, and then they have their athletics, and they try not to cross over. That's why they try to corner a market of the Yeezys of the world, and
smart.
I feel like Nike have always been known to represent the athletes that are expected, not disregarding Nike, but are expected to perform and are dominant. But Under Armour, I think, represent the underdog, funnily enough with the word. I think they represent someone who's going to try and overcome obstacles, not just in their persona, but maybe in their sport. Jordan Spieth is trying to redefine golf. He's trying to help rejuvenate a sport that relied so much on the Nikes of the world Tiger
Relied
Woods.
on
From
Tiger.
From a business
Still does.
standpoint, I don't think Under Armour are going to be thinking to myself, wow, we're going to compete with Nike. It's like you're trying to fight Goliath consistently. You're never really going to catch them. But I think they have a smart business plan of making their way into a market that's going to find a young kid that's saying, I don't want to be LeBron James. I want to fight and overcome the battle. But also, you look at their advertisement with Giselle, and it wasn't to be, oh, look at us, we're women athletes. They are trying to target to women everywhere that want to make a difference and want to try and change themselves. And that ad was so perfectly shot. And I don't know if you've seen it before. It was when Giselle was just in the room, very stripped back. I think it was one take, kicking a punch bag with all negative comments. She's not an athlete. She's not this. She's not that. She's just trying to better herself. Under Armour are very intelligent. And the same way with that ad in which Steph Curry is out in the middle of nowhere, bouncing both basketballs, and now there's 1,000 Steph Currys and they're all bouncing basketballs. They don't want to be given. They don't want to be given the opportunity. They want to work for it. That's Under Armour's brand. It's the business and marketing side coming out from me in school. It's so clear to see it. And that's why none of these Under Armour athletes are people that I think they will have. Trust me, when they get to the point where they can grab such big name athletes, they will continue to do it. But I still think they're always going to be personified by those that are doubted and those that are going to work to try and get there. That's why what's they're saying, I will. Nike just do it.
I remember Under Armour's originally being, we must protect this house.
Yeah, protect this house is also a good one as well.
If you had to choose between Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, or I guess New Balance is up there too, at least in the soccer world,
Adidas
football
every
world.
time.
What you're Adidas every time?
I've always
like
got
undoubtedly
Adidas. That's
Adidas?
just my boots. I love
Undoubtedly?
Adidas boots. Yeah, but the thing is, with this it's like when it comes to basketball. I know in America people like to wear Under Armour. People like to wear Under Armour shoes, and out. Like I'm not going to wear a pair of football boots around the street. I mean, I could possibly. I'd try and
You just
pull it
want
off.
the Yeezy Boosts.
The Yeezy Boosts are nice. Like for trainers, so for me, when I was in my prime at football.
You're out of your prime now, dude. You're just like this veteran. You're going to have to sign a ridiculous contract.
Knees are all messed up.
Go play in China. They're signing everybody.
I'm looking for it. But mine was always comfort. And I never really... Beckham really did speak to me from an Adidas standpoint because he'd always wore the Predators and was just...
He was your Moses?
He was just... The way he would bend the ball, you would buy the boots with the curves on them, but I'm going to bend it like Beckham, hence the movie. So, shocking movie. Either way, Adidas was what I went to. But when it comes to in the United States, I feel like it's more of a lifestyle when people want to choose, I'm Nike, it's because I just want to do it. Or I'm Under Armour, I have to go with Under Armour because that kind of speaks to what I've tried to redefine myself.
I've always, just because I've worn Kobe's for so long.
Show off!
Love Nike. Love Nike.
Show off.
But I don't disagree. Under Armour's got a great strategy of what they're doing. Ja'Cory, what are you on?
What are those?
Boost deserve is a giant, big ol', what are those? Yeah.